At the coffee shop in the morning, one day we were talking about Alfred Glassell, and he is, one of the things he's known for, he caught one of the largest fish ever caught with rod and reel. It's a 1,530 pound black marlin of Cabo Blanco in Peru. And one of the things that we know is that he had some boats built here in Wedgeport by Andrew Cutro and maybe others, and he would haul these boats to Texas, and from there to Peru. And according to Mike, there were 6 of them actually that came from Nova Scotia, and I was a little surprised. I think we knew there was at least 2, but anyhow. So one day at the coffee shop, I was talking to Ernie Pothier and Louis Boudreau about Glassell, and they said he wasn't well liked down here in Wedgeport, and of course I didn't know much about him, so I went to the internet and I checked, and I found that Alfred Glassell was one of the world's great anglers, and there was a lot of good things to say about him. So I came back the next day and I said to Ernie and Louis, I said, you know, this is kind of strange. You guys didn't think he was much, this Alfred Glassell, but I think he was one heck of, he's in the Sport Fishing Hall of Fame and stuff like that. And Louis and Ernie, they both agreed, yeah, he was a great fisherman. I said, well, why didn't the people in Wedgeport like him? Well, they said, around noon time, he'd disappear in the bow of the boat on Soldier's Rip, and he'd come out with a new tie. And that was his greatest crime. He changed his tie every day. We don't like people that change ties around here. We had a good laugh. We had a good laugh over that, and I think they agree that he was, in fact, a great fisherman. Perhaps a little difficult to get along with, though. Anyhow, Alfred Glassell, if you're watching, we're certain you've got a clean tie. You know, at this time, I would like to invite the members of the crew of the Provider, the Tuna Committee and the Museum. At this time, we'd just like to honor one of our own, and that's the person of Ernie Pothier, the guy who didn't like the guy who changed his tie. Okay. And Ernie started tuna fishing in 1947, and we're very much appreciative of the fact that he is still tuna fishing here today. He just came with the crew, and we find that quite an accomplishment. Ernie, one of the girls asked him a few questions. He didn't know what this was about. He has had many fishing memories, but he especially recalls that memorable tuna fishing year of 1949 when nearly 2,000 tuna were landed in Wedgeport, hardly 2,000, but close to that. At that time, Ernie was fishing with his father, and they boated that summer 121 bluefin with rod and reel, and they also harpooned another 25 or so. In a total, they had caught 146 tuna. Ernie fished many years with his father, and I do remember when he was fishing with his father. And he claimed that he was earning the sum total of $5 a day. He was getting rich. And when he rigged out for himself, his hired man was Abel Boudreau. That's Abel Dominique, is it? Abel Dominique Boudreau. And he would go down Soldier's Rip and the Tuscot River and chase the elusive bluefins. Ernie remembers landing his largest fish, 945 pounder with rod and reel, and he also recalled landing small tuna, like 100-pounders. Over the years, Ernie brought many sports fishermen out on his boat to fish, and one that is the most memorable party, and one that he talks about a lot, was Major Cyril M. Frisbee, VC, a major from England, and the VC stands for he had received the Victoria Cross. And Major Frisbee was well liked in Wedgeport, and he was also one of the world's great fishermen. And he came to Wedgeport on many occasions, and Ernie made friends with the Major, and Ernie has many stories about him. Ernie has always looked forward to the Wedgeport Tuna Tournament, and just a few years ago he bought top-of-the-line equipment just for this tournament. And I'm not sure of all the details. I know he's told me this before. I don't know if he went to eBay or he bought second-hand equipment, and that wasn't good enough. And this is just a couple of years ago, right? And he turns around and he bought the best line and everything else. And it's very few people have that kind of enthusiasm at his young age. I should include. Right? Anyhow, we just have a little token for you, Ernie, and thanks for everything you're doing for us. Clinton?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone who was responsible for this, and I want to thank everyone who participated in the tournament. I hope we keep having some, and I hope I can go back. Thank you.
On behalf of the captain and crew of Team Provider, I'd really like to present this little token of appreciation, because we learned so much from having Ernie on board. And just a little cute story. One year, a few years back, we were fishing, and it wasn't a day like we had this week. It was lousy weather, thick fog, and at some point someone had a birthday. And I remember at some point that someone delivered a birthday cake on the Hell Hole, and it had something to do with red shoes. So I know some people remember that. And we could hear ZZ Top blaring in the Hell Hole. And we sort of looked at one another, and we were calm and laid back, and we looked at one another and we said, you know, I guess our team is sort of like the old men and the sea. So please give a hand to the old men and the sea.